Yo, this is it now. Mr. Out of Chakra is back and in action when it comes on to the Boruto manga. Wagwan everyone, Sanjae Uchiha here and welcome back to the channel. Of course, Boruto chapter 61 has recently come out and with it we see the return of Mr. Sasuke Uchiha. But with his return and Kawaki leaving the village, could we potentially be, getting ready to see the fan speculated Sasuke versus Code fight at some point in the coming chapters? It's time we discuss it. Anyway, before we get into it, definitely leave a like because of course Boruto videos and all that jazz and blues. Or if not, you can subscribe. I mean, if it's free, take two. A wise man once said that somewhere. But yeah, Sasuke versus Code, and what that could potentially mean for the story. Now, of course, it might still be too early to jump the gun. I know, even though we have this video here, but at the same time, it's still up for discussion. Now, in terms of potentially getting Sasuke versus Code, this disclaimer will depend on what's going to happen with Kawaki and what his grand plans are in leaving the village, because it could be a situation where this doesn't happen and Kawaki just meets with Code and talks and he comes back and we don't really have to deal with all of that right now. But it's still a topic for discussion. Now, as I said, or as Amado has said within Universe, when it comes on to a potential Naruto versus Code match, he potentially wouldn't win. Naruto would not necessarily win against Code right now one-on-one. If it's Naruto and Sasuke, different story because Code feels he needs to take precautions there, but if it's one-on-one, Amado feels that Naruto isn't really coming out of that alive, and if Naruto's not coming out of that alive, potentially that does say a lot about Sasuke's odds when it comes on to fighting Code. Now, this is where the interesting part comes in, because of course chapter 61 confirms that it's been 10 days that they've actually tried since they started looking for Code. And two things, I think this will be an opportunity for them to really emphasize the theme of Boruto while at the same time emphasizing what it means for Sasuke to be Sasuke. Now, what I mean by that is that, and I've said it before, Sasuke is the type of character that's going to take the proactive approach, but at the same time, from a writing perspective, given that he lost to Jigen, given that he lost to Ishiki, given that he lost his rinnegan, jeez, that's a lot of losses. And given that Amado more than likely has communicated to the entire group how strong Code is, I do not see Sasuke being the type of character who doesn't take a proactive approach and make some preparations going into this, especially since there's been so much time in the universe that has passed since he lost his Rinnegan. And given that this series kind of deals with science, technology, and usually tries to kind of contrast and compare it against the traditional old generation, old school means of actually achieving power, why not use Sasuke as a template of merging the old and the new? Let him start incorporating some scientific ninja weaponry in his arsenal, because of course when I was doing my reaction and review to chapter 61, William, you said yourself it might still be not enough time for Sasuke to do any substantial training, but at the same time it would be enough time for him to collab with Amado and Katasuke to eventually start incorporating something into his moveset to make him a bit more competent, despite the fact that he's lost his Rinnegan. And I think a fight against Code, someone who is stronger than Naruto or Sasuke individually right now, it would be a nice opportunity to showcase that, as well as redeem Sasuke in some shape or form when it comes on to the Boruto manga right now, even though I know they're phasing out both Naruto and Sasuke. So that's the thing, there's prime opportunity. Granted, I don't know how the fight will go down, but a fight between them could give rise to those two main opportunities for Kishimoto to showcase these two things when it comes down to Sasuke's character and of course the merging of all of the themes of Naruto and Boruto in Sasuke's character. So I think that would be very interesting to say the least. And of course, given that Sasuke, I mean, I might be reading into it too much, but he says he has his job to do in this chapter, right? And he's making his predictions in terms of where Code is going to pop up. And given how Naruto and Sasuke were not necessarily contrasted, but if you really compare how they were in chapter 61, Sasuke is out there and Naruto's at home watching TV. Well, falling asleep watching TV. So I expect at some point Sasuke is going to, I guess, tag along with Kawaki, follow him, trail him, whatever the case may be, and we might get that Sasuke versus Code fight. And of course, as I said, those two main things would be the things that the fight would surround essentially. So there's definitely that. And who knows, maybe Ida will be watching the fight and fall for Sasuke too. I want to I'm sorry, I probably want to fight Sakura for Sasuke. Who knows, but it would be interesting to see Ida's her effects of her abilities on Sasuke. That's a prime opportunity for some comedy, if I do say so myself. But it's a big possibility. I see Sasuke being the proactive character to potentially trail Kawaki, and this leading to the Code versus Sasuke face-off before more characters start to get involved. So there's that. And of course, I think the importance of the fight would be, it would help to at least signify or indicate where the path that Naruto and, well, the path Sasuke and by extension Naruto will be able to take going into the time skip if Naruto doesn't get put down before the time skip. And put down, I mean sealed away, you know what I mean. So there's that. So a potential fight between Sasuke and Code could have its benefits, but until I get a better idea of what Kawaki's plan is, I can't definitively say that we will be getting a Code versus Sasuke fight. So let's see where it goes. But anyway guys, let me know what you think. Let me know what you'd expect from a Code versus Sasuke fight, and do you think the reasons that, or at least the opportunities that I spoke about in terms of what the fight could, what we could benefit from seeing the fight, do you think those reasons are valid between Sasuke's character and showcasing a combination of the mentality of the old generation and new generation, as well as giving a clear path of where Naruto and Sasuke go from here? So there's that. But anyway, Sanjae Uchiha, respect if you made it this far guys. Leave a like, if not subscribe, or both. And I'll see you in the next Boruto discussion.